But does the revenues that you lose in advertising and the print newspaper, does it get made up for in the money that's the advertising on the web?
Somewhat, not completely. That's the problem. The web advertising is growing at a time when the print news advertising is shrinking, but the
not
growth,
at the same
growth,
rate.
yes, there's not a one-for-one substitution, and that's what we're working on. Is how do we deal with that?
So if you're a smaller paper and you don't have that web component or the potential for the web component to become strong, could there this is a crazy hypothetical, could there be a time when you just didn't even have a Washington Post newspaper, or it was on demand?
I can't see that. Obviously, I'm of an age where I only can see so far out in the future, but I just can't see that. There's a unique, when we talk about technology, there's a unique technology to a print newspaper. I mean, it's very low tech, but it is very handy in lots of different ways, from being able to rip it out, to take different sections and
and especially
out
once
and
you
so on.
solve the problem of it not coming off on our hands.
Right, right.
That was a huge development.
We've improved that a lot. So there are young readers of newspapers. Now they're also reading.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not
Who are
kidding.
they?
Yeah, they're around. We do surveys.
There's not one in my house.
Yeah,
I wonder how
we're working on that.
Well, I wonder if it needs to be smaller or something. I just
it is getting smaller for one thing.
In size.
In size, yes.
Yeah.
We've gotten smaller in size, and probably get still more smaller in size. You want to be as convenient as possible, and you want to not spend as much money on newsprint. So it'll continue to change form, and what we put in print is evolving too. It's the more deeper stories in print. It's comics in print, which are not so much fun to look at online as they are in print. It's a whole variety of things that are unique to print that we're trying to focus on in print, and then on the web, and then later on handheld devices, we're focusing on the things that work best on those.
Somebody wanted to know, when's Doonesbury coming back?
I think we say in the paper all the time, it's a 6-week hiatus.
It's like this, hold your breath, he'll be back.
Yeah, right. So
that's
we're trying
the way to up your value, right? Go away for a little while and have everybody miss you.
And we're trying out others. It gives us an opportunity to try out some other comics in his place and see what people like.
Gary probably doesn't want them to be too fabulous.
Well, we would put them someplace else if they're popular.
Yeah, because the web doesn't have the comics, does it?
It does, actually. The comics are on the web. You can look them up.
You're kidding. I didn't know that.
And there are some people who read them regularly on the web, but by and large, people like to read comics in print.
Back to the Pulitzers. How did you find out?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, come on. You mean you knew before you were supposed to?
Yeah, we found out on Friday after the board had made its decisions, but they keep it a secret until Monday. And
so somebody on the board told you.
That's all I'm going to tell you.
So, how secret did you keep it?
Oh, we kept it very secret except for the winners.
Come on, you had to tell somebody.
No, we let the winners know.
You did?
Yeah, but they're not allowed to tell anybody other than their family.
Did that mean in the news?
And they don't. They did a good job of not doing it.
This is a clear example of the Washington Post having lost its deep throat polish. But, okay, so everybody knew, and so everybody pretended in the newsroom to be surprised, right?
No, I mean, there were a lot of people who were surprised because they didn't know, really. I mean, the winners, you like the winners to be prepared for what's going to happen to them on Monday. And you like to be able
wear the right outfit,
and you like to prepare a good ceremony. But, there were people who were surprised.
When did Ben Bradlee call you? Did he call you?
He came down to see me.
He came down. Yeah. Very good, very good. Yes. We like this.
Right.
And
he still has. By the way, Ben still has an office in the building upstairs,
know.
And he often comes to visit. And he
I wonder sometimes if that was like being Princess Diana and having Camilla Parker Bowles around.
No. Which one was which there?
I realize I can't.
Trying to figure out those relationships. But
I can't take that too far now.
Ben, when I succeeded him in 1991, he forbid himself from coming to the newsroom for quite a long time, so it wouldn't appear like he was looking over my shoulder. And I just finally had to drag him in after a while because Ben and I are close, and I'm my own person anyway, and it didn't matter. So it's
important, isn't it, to be your own person in that culture?
Yes, it is.
Especially that newsroom.
Yes.
And I think sometimes the rap on you is that people don't know that you are your own person. You know, it's like, because they say, well, he's such still water.
Right.
You know, nobody really knows Len. But you are your own person, and it doesn't matter what Ben Bradlee does, right?
Yes, correct.
Nice to have him around.
Right.
Have you gone to him at times and found important counsel from him?
Yes, usually on personnel matters. Obviously, we deal with, I liken my job to being fortunate to be the conductor of an amazing orchestra full of amazing talents, nearly all of whom are not quite normal.
That's a good thing, right?
And otherwise, they'd be working, making a lot of money someplace else.
Right.
They'd be working for Kimsey or something.
Yeah.
But they do this because they have this sense of mission.
Right.
And so they're a handful. And sometimes with really talented people, you can have really difficult problems to solve.
Right.
And Ben was always helpful with that. Ben has really great intuition and feeling for people.
That is the root of journalism, isn't it? You know, that rat's in the guts, that wanting to do it. I mean, your job is not unlike the manager of a baseball team or a football team.
Yes.
You're not only running the game that's on the field, but you're trying to recruit from the farm team what you're bringing in. I'm assuming. Tell me
Yes.
if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
And where are you?
Plus, we grow some of our own too. I was a summer intern in 1964 and was hired out of that class.
Is that still the conventional way to get into the post?
That is still one of the ways to do it. We have hundreds of applicants for about 20 summer intern slots, and that allows us to pick the best people. And if they do well in the summer, they've got a leg up in getting a job with us. And besides, we want some people that are young in the newsroom, not just old codgers like me.
And you don't want them all going across the river to .com.
Right, so we hired half a dozen of them probably out of every summer group.
But the difference, I wonder, between when you were coming up and a summer intern and now is like they've all got multiple PhDs.
Oh,
right?
It's amazing. I never would have been hired now as a summer intern.
But is that a good
no
thing?
chance.
Is that a good thing, Lynn?
Well, they don't all have multiple PhDs, but they all are really, really talented people.
Right.
And some of them are lawyers, and occasionally they're a physician, and they're China experts and so on. Some of them are just really talented, and we make sure that we have a mix of people. I come from a public university, Ohio State, and I make sure that we have got some public university people there every summer too. But they're just really, really talented journalists, and like I say, it would have been pretty tough for me, but we were hiring anybody back in the 60s. So that was
You didn't hire me. No, that's another story. No, it's actually, I was thinking earlier, why are you so nervous about this interview? Why are you so nervous? And I thought, I had this revelation. It was because I did interview you once and you didn't hire me and I had to stay in television and poo. But anyway, I've forgiven you. No, it wasn't one of my better days, but that's another story. Do you find in the people that that you hire now that they come in with very specific ideas of what they want to do? I mean, are they coming in with specialties? I mean, does the police beat exist in its classic old school form?
Yes, it still does.
And Marty Weil is probably still...
Marty Weil is still there. Marty Weil is a classic newspaper rewrite man.
Yes.
Who wants to come in and have a clean slate every day when he comes in and do whatever's in front of him. It could be a big obituary, it could be rewriting a big murder story or whatever. And then when he's finished at night, he goes home and nothing carries over. He's not like a beat reporter that has to worry about what am I going to do tomorrow in interviewing the mayor. And that Marty enjoys that, and he's great. He's an amazing talent, and he used to work for the CIA, and we're not sure if he's quit.
Still,
or not.
well, let's hope he still is.
So we're careful with him. But no, a lot of them do come with specialized backgrounds, but they're not going to do that work right away. I mean, we really do want Chinese speakers and people that know something about China, so that when they're mature as journalists, we can send them to China, and they'll know the language, they'll know what they're doing. Otherwise, we will spend a year and a lot of money training them to do that. But obviously, people with special backgrounds we want. We want people to know economics and all sorts of things like that. But there's still just really talented, interested journalists who just want to make a difference in the world by covering the news, and we'll hire them too.
One of the interesting things about the Washington Post, and I really don't know if this exists in any other city, and it's probably because apologies to the Times and the Examiner and others, but you are the only big game in town, and you are a beat in itself. I mean, I think it's the Washington City Paper and Washingtonian both have correspondents pretty much assigned just to cover the Washington Post.
That's correct.
And what's that like for you?
Well, it's two different things. I'm not always pleased with what the Washingtonian publishes, but I have great respect for Eric Wemple, who's the editor of Washington City Paper and covers the Post as part of his beat.
So that for Jaffe, this for Wemple. Okay,
you said that.
Okay. I said that, right. No. But, like, do you have to have then somebody in your PR department who's just dealing with them, or does it just fall to you?
No, we deal with them directly. No, I mean, we're journalists. We expected people to talk to us. We should talk to people. I don't turn anybody down.
It's just
I talk
that
to
it's
them.
more no comment than.
Well, I hardly ever do no comment, but I've been accused of being very careful about what I say.
No, it's probably a good thing.